Hi there. This is Beth Green, and otherwise known as Granny Rocks, and I can see the name on the show is wrong, but anyway, who cares about that? I'm going to be talking about Find Your Inner Power in the new year.
Yay. And I am Sweet Baby James, otherwise known as James Maynard. And this is our opportunity to experience the show that we call Inner Revolution, changing the world from the inside out.
Drip, 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 right? Just like
happen.
A little drop of water
Yeah.
just eats away at that
yeah.
ego and all the nonsense, right?
There you go. I like the sound of that. And so every Monday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, we experience Granny's sharings on the topic of the time. And we enjoy receiving her wit, her wisdom, and her uncommon sense. So Granny, take it away.
Well, thank you so much. I also want to remind you this is Wednesday, which means that Wednesday at 7 p.m. is Seeing Through New Glasses, which is our discussion group, which is an awesome, awesome group. You should consider joining us. We start out tonight for a 3-month period, but, get in touch with me and we'll work it out. But it's a great group, and look for all the details, because we really need to bring these messages home instead of just having them in our heads like, oh, yeah, that's a great, oh, yeah, I love that show. It's like, yeah, it's brilliant. But, you don't change, right? So I don't care if you think I'm brilliant. Of course I do. But you know what I mean? So anyway, Elizabeth said hi there and sent us a heart, and we're hurrying. Oh, and
Bob and Carol, yeah.
Bob and Carol and Bob are watching. Ooh, they're watching us. James, that means we better watch our step here. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you all already. So, find your inner power in the new year. Now, doesn't that sound great? Everybody promises you, find your inner power. You are your inner power. You and your inner power, or your power.
Your inner power is empowered.
It's empowered. You empower yourself in this year. So I didn't even want to put that name down because it sounds so, oh God, like everybody else is trying to sell you a bill of goods. But that was the topic that came to mind. So I can't fight destiny, can I? Well, I think that finding our inner power in the new year really sounds great. Oh, by the way, I want to say one more thing about our group tonight, Seeing Through New Glasses. Guess what? I read, somebody had a quote on Facebook today. Let's have 2020 vision. Mm-hmm. 2020 vision in the new year, right? I love that.
I like it.
Seeing through new glasses for 2020 vision. I love that. Thank you, whoever wrote that. Okay, Richard said Richard is watching. Uh-oh, there's more people watching us. Okay, so now I'm very serious. I really do want to talk to you about inner power. I'm not talking about the power to dominate others. That's a whole other topic, and that's not the kind of power that we are looking for. But, the power that comes from within us and comes through us, the power to do good, hopefully, right? Power requires us to concentrate force. Now, what I mean by that is, notice the difference between the fist and the palm of the hand. Mm-hmm. We have more power in the fist, first because we're not all over the place, losing the concentration of the force, right? I mean, If you're going like this, you've got all of the power concentrated. That's what I'm trying to say, right? It's the concentration of force. If you go like this, it's all over the place, right?
You're so right.
Yeah, and so you're never going to have that same amount of power in an open palm, are you? Probably somebody will tell me that I'm completely wrong, that there is some kung fu tradition where they do everything with the open palm. That's great. I'm sure someone else can concentrate their power in right here where their palm is open. This is a metaphor, right? An analogy. So, number one, if you are looking to find your power, start by eliminating the distractions, right? See, these are all distractions. The pink and this is concentration. Got it? So what do I mean by distractions? I mean, first of all, the things we use in order to stop ourselves, block ourselves, and just wander around, distract ourselves. Amy says, the video is cutting in and out on my computer. Is that happening for others? or else it's mine. I hope it's yours, Amy. Not that I've wished bad luck on anybody, but okay.
We have a solid transmission here at this point.
Well, we think so. Oh, okay.
Yours
Elizabeth
fine.
said it's over here. It's fine. So, okay, excellent. So, Amy, I'm sorry. You may be having a problem, but um, so for instance, when I say what we use in order to stop ourselves, block ourselves, and distract ourselves, I mean, if you want to start eating a healthy diet, for example, don't go to a bunch of parties where which might be a distraction. You know, you tell yourself, well, I'm just going to the company. I'm going because I love my friends. This is a family tradition. I have to do this. So all we're going to do when we get there is pig out, pig out, pig out, pig out, right? So you're really trying to distract yourself from focusing your power. You are tempting yourself to eat the wrong thing, aren't you? Nobody else has ever done this. Oh, Tracy said hello and sent us a heart.
Hello.
Richard said okay here, and Todd said I love you. I love that. Well, we love you too. We love you all that. Okay, now on the other hand, guys, if you go to that party to binge, just when you tell yourself you're just determined to eat a healthy diet, don't get down on yourself for having done it. That's just another distraction, right? Instead of focusing your energy on eating healthy, now you're distracting yourself with self-blame, self-pity, shame, rationalizations, excuses, all around negativity, right? And you'll probably eat over it. Oh, I'm so upset with me. Oh, been there, done that. Okay, now, if you have gone to this party and you have done your little binge thing, thank yourself for giving yourself yet another bad experience with food, just to help you to gain the commitment that you need to eat well. In other words, take the experience and empower yourself with it instead of distracting yourself with it. This is a big clue, everybody, to how to live life with power, is whatever is happening, try to use it to empower yourself, no matter how bad things look. Now, the next point is, don't judge things as distractions when they are not. I'm going to give you an example. You are determined to study for a test, but you find yourself looking out the window. Has anyone ever done this?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a distraction? Well, we'll see. If you don't go take a walk, you may be a nervous wreck and less able to study. Maybe you're just anxious and you really need to get out and walk around. Maybe you need some air. If you go for the walk and you get more relaxed, you can use the walk as a way to focus your energy. So you see, as usual, when I'm talking, nothing is ever simple, is it? It isn't really the thing itself. It's always why you do it. So let's say, in fact, going out and taking a walk or taking a bath or calling a friend is exactly what you need in order to take that next step of concentration. So focusing our energy or power does not mean becoming single-minded. That can be extremely unhealthy and can ultimately weaken us. Just work, work, work. Oh, I'm going to build my business. All I'm going to do is work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. Yes, I'm very relaxed now. Oh my God, I have a list of 20 things that I have to do. And okay, that is going to weaken you. Guess what? I mean, do you get it, right? Sometimes we really need to wander around. Now, this is another point. Sometimes we really need to wander around, not only because we may need some exercise, we may need some balance in our lives, but we may not know what to focus on. That's fine. It's just part of the process. You may wander for a year and say, oh, I've just been distracted. It's like maybe this is all full of experiences that bring you to the very thing that you need to focus on. And Laura says, much love to you, Granny. Oh, much love to you too, Laura. Thank you. Thank you. So we have to have a real consciousness about everything we do. There are the 5 simple rules for having your inner power. Everything is complicated and everything has to do with your consciousness. But do be aware that inner power comes from focusing, any kind of power really, comes from focusing our power. And I'm going to get to the next part of this in a minute. Focusing our power. And that doesn't always mean being single-minded. Okay, now supposing you've got this, whatever it is, some hatchet, and you're trying to chop some wood, you do want to be single-minded. You want to make sure that you're guiding the hatchet to the log, not to your foot. So even that rule, right? Right? So you have to do what is right and what actually makes sense.
You still may need to take a break and get a healthy consciousness and relax so you can focus better.
That's right. You might need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to really get this whole picture and take it in. Now, number 2. I'm only going to take on 2 points today because I'm almost out of time already. We've seen so far that we have to focus our inner power, concentrate it. But that assumes we have it or that we know that it's there. For example, we may already have the power, but we may be diffusing it, like in all the examples. Your hands are crippled. You will have trouble making that fist and using it, meaning you may not have the power. Uh-oh. What about that? Wait a minute. They didn't tell me that when I took the 5 points to inner power class and gave you $4,000 for this class, that maybe I don't have the power. But see, that's really part of being realistic and being conscious. And what we have to do is we have to assume we have some power.
Inner power.
Some inner power. We even have some kind of outer power. I mean, those of us who are really ill may just be able to blink our eyes. Those of us who can't even do that, oh, that is terrible. I can't imagine what that's like, to not be able to do anything at all on the physical plane and still being conscious. That's something that, you're really going to have to focus your inner power to live through something like that. But my point is, I've been talking, first I talked about concentrating our power, but that means that we must have some. So in order to concentrate our power, we have to see that we have some. We have to have faith in the power we already have. I can't be more powerful than I am in this very moment. If I am a crippled old lady, I am a crippled old lady. Now, what can I do with the crippled old lady power that I have? Well, I'm going to try to concentrate it. I'm going to try to use it intelligently at the right time for the right purpose. Now, what I want to discuss here with you is, if you have any power at all, at least, on the inside, on the outside, what might stop you from seeing it? Number 1, you might be afraid to look powerful. Why might you be afraid to look powerful? Well, if you look powerful, you might be expected by yourself or someone else to take on an obstacle or an opponent that you fear. For example, if the saber-toothed tiger were at the door and it was just James and me,
Mm-hmm.
who would we be looking to take it on a physical plane?
On a physical level, me.
That's right.
I'll just make sure that door didn't open.
He'd be barring the door.
Barring the door.
Cougar, saber-toothed tiger, bar the door. Okay, but so you see, if you're the powerful looking one, people start expecting you to do something about it. How often have we expected daddy to take care of something, or mother to take care, or our mate to take care of something, or anybody but us? Now, if you happen to be the strongest person in the room, you might expect it of yourself, as well as others expecting it of you. You feel the burden, like, oh God, I'm not going to ask her. She can't even get out of bed. But maybe you don't realize that you can call on others to do their part. Okay, Granny, You may not be able to bar the door, but you can look out the window to see where it is, or you might be able to do something, bring the crowbar or something like that. See, when we get into this power thing, we get so screwed up because our egos are so involved in all of this, and so we think because we look powerful or we're more powerful that we have to be the power. No, we have to have the intelligence. I've read that a really good leader is somebody who surrounds his or herself with smart people. So, no, don't be afraid to see your power because you think that's going to make you responsible for everything. It just means that you can do what you can do, and then you have the intelligence to call on other people. Now, another reason that you may not be able to see your own power is that others may have made you feel weak. Feel weak. Like a controlling parent, sibling, mate, boss, social or economic group. Now, they may be coming from their need to be flattered. They want you to say, oh, James, you're so strong, right? So you may have a need to be flattered or look puffed up. So they may need you to feel weak so that you can make them look strong, because the truth is nobody's that strong. Anyway, the next point that I want to make is others may have wanted you to be weak. Now, I talked about feel weak a minute ago, and see, this is a very important distinction. You may have all the strength in the world, but you can be made to feel like you're weak by somebody who wants you to feel weak because they want to look bigger than you. The powers that be in a society want the rest of us to feel weak so that we won't challenge them and maybe wrest some of that power from them, right? Now, others may have wanted you to be weak. For example, going back to some of the same examples, a controlling parent, a sibling, a mate, a child may want you to be weak, have no will so that they can manipulate. Anybody can want you to be weak so that they can manipulate you. A boss doesn't want you to feel like, oh, you're so desirable that you could go off to somewhere else and ask for a raise, right? A social or economic group can want you or your group to be weak, to be unable to protest, to not have the resources to defend yourself in court, on the street. And that isn't coming from a need for flattery. That is coming from the need to win or to dominate. Tina said, I'm 50 years old and just now finding my power. I've overcome all kinds of abuse, mental illness, and Lyme disease. I got in 2007. Victory, it can be done. Better late than never. Love you, SBJ and Beth. We love you too.
God bless you, Tina.
Oh my goodness,
It's a great
Tina.
example.
That is a great example. We happen to know people who are also struggling with mental illness and Lyme disease and lots of other things. In fact, some people who are very close to us are struggling with Lyme disease. So yes, that's so great. Another reason we may not see our own power is habit. I was weak as a child, and I'm stronger now. But in myself, I still carry the image of weakness. It's like I'm still weak on the inside. I haven't seen the reality yet. And there may be all those other factors at play that's making it hard for me to see those realities, right? That I am stronger than I am projecting myself to be in my own mind, to please somebody, to not scare myself, to not take on responsibilities, especially with an opponent that I fear and so on. So how can I overcome the habit? So I'm only going to say, I think, one more fundamental thing about this topic tonight. For now, I want to challenge you with this. I know last time, by the way, I challenged you with the question of what are you still trying to prove about yourself? And I hope that you have thought about that. And now I want to ask you this. What do you need to do to discover your power, your real power? I don't mean to puff yourself up, but what do you need to do to discover your real power and to concentrate it, focus it? Remember, discovery, which is awareness, is the first step, and focusing is the second. If you can just do the discovery part, that'll be great. If you can do both, if you can find yourself, I want you to remember that fist and see your energy. See, I can feel it in my own body. Sometimes my energy is just like, and sometimes it's like a laser beam.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. I will be back, and I will be talking much more about all of these things as usual.
Would you like to announce something about next week, something special?
Yes. Oh my God, thank you, Sir James. Next week, 1 or 2 shows, I don't know yet which it is, are going to be based on an interview that I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to pre-record it, but I'll be live streaming. I'll be here, Baby James sweet Baby James will be here too. And it's with a guy named Chuck Collins. And this is a guy who is walking the talk. He's written a book called Born on Third Base. And this is an appeal to the 1% to understand
the wealthy,
the super wealthy, why they should be supporting the common good. And what is so great about it is he did it. He was born privileged and he gave his money away.
Yeah, overcoming income inequality by sharing what you can of what you have.
Right. So he and I, you know how this is a very big issue for us in the inner revolution, doing what is for the highest good of all, recognizing that if other people are hurting, we're hurting. This guy has been studying this from an economic and social point of view. He is with the Institute for Policy Studies and I think he started something called Patriotic Millionaires. It's like, how do you get beyond class warfare and start to get people together around creating a society that is for the highest good of all? So I'm interviewing him tomorrow, and that'll turn into maybe 1, maybe 2 shows. And we'll be on, come on live, and then we're going to use a different program. We're going to get the interview in there, but you can comment. We can talk about your comments after that piece of the interview, and we can also write to you. So this is exciting. We're in a new year. You just never know what's going to happen with Inner Revolution, changing the world from the inside out.
Yeah.
Don't forget to consider joining Seeing Through New Glasses, the group, even if you can't start tonight, even though we are starting tonight. Get in touch with me, Beth at Beth Green. You know my name. Green is in the color. .org. And get in touch with me and talk about how this group could benefit you. So Bob said, Happy New Year. Beth and James, great topic. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We love it. We love it. And Zuma said, very good morning, ma'am and sir. And a very good morning to you. And it's a good evening tonight. And Ilan said, love you. And we love you too. So I better stop this video because we've gone way over as usual. I should stop pretending. But I've got to get on our group. It's
in about 6 minutes.
That's right. So.
Okay, there we are.
Happy New Year!
Yeah.
Let's make this a really good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You take care.